You know, Clarence was one of the founding members of Sealaska Corporation. Sealaska was initially Sealaska was initially organized by the members of the Tlingit Haida Central Council, the board members of that institution. And Clarence was among them. They signed the Articles of Incorporation. They essentially gave life, legal life, to Sealaska as a corporate institution. I joined the board within months. Once that board had set up Sealaska, it quickly sought to expand the board, and I was among that first group of additional directors. And so I've worked with Clarence right from the founding of Sealaska Corporation. And he's been part of the bedrock of Sealaska. He's a village person. He was raised as a native person by his grandparents. He grew up, or at least in his younger years, lived the subsistence lifestyle that up until about that time, the mid-1950s, had not changed a lot from the way Native people used to live their hunting and gathering and spiritual and value-laden life. So he is individually a powerful connection and one who lives the life of being fully knowledgeable of what it means when we say we are Native peoples and we know who we are. He helps give us that. And so the fact that he speaks Tlingit, for example, fluently, has been a huge strength for Sealaska Corporation and for the board. To have been on the board and watched Clarence and Walter Soboleff and Jeff David and several others in the boardroom talking back and forth in Tlingit, being both serious and then laughing, you know, at what was being said one to the other, even though the rest of us didn't fully understand what was being said. We knew what it was in terms of what it meant. This was our life. This was the ultimate expression, you know, vocal expression of who we are as Native people. And Clarence is now the last board member remaining who is able to speak in the old way and with absolute knowledge of what each and every word means. He's a teacher, and he's taught every day. I see him talk to individual board members, to people on the staff. He always has a little lesson. He always has a little thought. And of course, he's often asked by our chair to speak. When it's time to have someone speak, who speaks from the heart, who speaks with intimate knowledge of who we are as Native people, that's Clarence Jackson. He's absolutely irreplaceable. And he's the kind of both individual and board member that Sealaska can look to and even point to and say, he has as much as anyone else and more than many made us who we are today. He allows us to be able to look to the future after almost a half century now of being a corporation. He allows us to look to the future with a sense of confidence and with some sense of assurance that we can continue to be the kind of institution he passionately desires us to be. And of course, to be able to call Clarence a personal friend, to know that my wife is Athabascan. And so when we married, and even for a number of years afterward, she had not been adopted into any clan. And Clarence said, I want you to be a member of my clan. I'm Raven, Clarence is Eagle. And my wife became a member of Clarence's clan, became his sister. I became his brother-in-law. And he feels that every single day. When he calls you his brother-in-law, he means it. You are intimate family. When he talks to my sons and says, come here, nephew, or let me say this to you, nephew, he means it in the most powerful Tlingit way possible. And he's one of the few who really knows what that means, having lived it himself. He's incredibly unique.